Hey there, welcome to the session on Quality AI. I'm Ankita Lakra, Product Marketing Manager for AI for Service at Kore.ai. Thank you for joining us today. And we're really excited to show you how Quality AI is transforming quality assurance and agent performance. Whether you're an existing client who's looking to expand their AI capabilities, or you're someone who's just looking at exploring advanced quality management solutions, today's session will demonstrate how Quality AI can revolutionize your operations. Let me outline what we'll cover in the next 30 minutes. We'll start by looking at the key challenges that most contact centers face today with traditional quality management approaches. And next, we'll look at why do you need Quality AI in today's customer experience landscape. Followed by that, we'll take a comprehensive overview of Quality AI, its features and its capabilities, and followed by live demonstration of Quality AI. Let's begin with the reality that most contact centers face today. First, let's talk about the enormous cost of manual audits. At $7.5 per call and 18 minutes per evaluation, the financial burden is huge. When you multiply this across thousands of interactions monthly, the costs become unsustainable. And since these are manual audits, these are also prone to human errors and inconsistencies, often leading to operational inefficiencies. Next, the coverage problem is also equally critical. Most contact centers today only audit 5 to 8% of customer interactions, which means they leave out 95% of customer interactions in the dark. Now imagine making strategic decisions based on less than 10% of your data, leaving out critical interaction and key performance insights. And that's the reality that most contact centers often operate today. Scalability and adaptability present the third major challenge. As interaction volumes grow exponentially, the manual processes create bottlenecks. And this often results in inefficient, inconsistent, and often outdated insights. And sometimes contact centers often also resort to hiring additional QA resources, which definitely increases the costs, but they often fail to provide better understanding of the performances. And finally, the lack of data-driven insights severely hamper performance improvement. Without comprehensive analysis, you cannot identify patterns, predict issues, or personalize coaching effectively. This reactive approach means you're always playing catch-up and instead of proactively improving the performances. So the outcome of all these challenges are high costs, limited visibility, and missed opportunities for improving customer experience and agent performance. So this brings us to the fundamental question. Why do you need Quality AI? The first one is 100% visibility. Quality AI enables automated quality assurance across every single interaction. It's not just a fraction. This complete visibility allows you to identify performance patterns and customer satisfaction trends that were previously invisible. And it also services critical interactions, which represents intelligent prioritization. Now, instead of random sampling, Quality AI identifies the interactions that matter the most, whether it's a compliance violation, a dissatisfied customer, or an exceptional performance example. This targeted approach allows your QA team to focus their expertise on where it can have the largest impact. Intelligent insights provide the strategic intelligence you need for data-driven decisions. Quality AI delivers comprehensive contact center performance analytics, including sentiment analysis, topic modeling, and churn prediction as well. Now, these insights enable you to make proactive improvements rather than reactive fixes. And now, you can also evaluate more in less time. And this addresses the efficiency challenge directly. Now, Quality AI expedites audit through AI assistance. It allows the QA managers to focus on strategic activities like agent performance development rather than time-consuming manual reviews. And lastly, your supervisors can now coach with confidence. It transforms agent development from reactive to proactive. With Quality AI, you can now create coaching assignments with contextual feedback that directly ties into the key performance areas. You're not just telling agents what went wrong with, the interaction. You're actually providing specific interaction-based examples of how they can improve. And now the result of all of this is a complete transformation of your quality assurance process from a cost center to a strategic advantage. So now let's look at how Quality AI delivers all these benefits that we just discussed. First, there's a foundation layer which consists of NLP models, large language models for post interaction analytics and automation speech recognition. This technical foundation enables quality AI to understand and analyze conversations with human level comprehension. And on top of this foundation, it powers three core pillars. The first one is auto QA, which enables automated evaluation of 100% of your interactions. It speeds up manual audits with AI assistance, and it also supports conversation mining to drill down into specific cases. The second pillar would be conversation intelligence, and it has features like KPI monitoring, sentiment analysis, topic and intent detection, and customer experience tracking as well. And the third pillar is agent performance development. It has automated coaching assignments. You can monitor the progress of your agents. It has dashboards to provide visibility of both team and individual performances. And together, these pillars ensures a comprehensive approach, from identifying issues to driving continuous improvement in both customer experience and agent performance as well. And now I'm pleased to invite Prakash, the product manager of quality AI at Kore.ai, to lead the next part of our session. Over to you, Prakash.
Hi everyone, my name is Prakash and I am the product manager leading the development of quality AI. So before we dive deeper into the product itself, I'm going to take a little bit of the time to explain what quality AI is. Ankita has already done a great job of explaining the challenges that exist with conventional QA processes and what we offer. But I want to emphasize on the fact that quality AI is a post-conversation auto QA and conversation intelligence tool with a workflow built in that allows you to facilitate agent performance development and monitor coaching progress and efficacy as well. And this is done through an AI-assisted workflow that covers the QA process end to end, giving you full visibility and the power to actually focus on agent development as the outcome and measure how it impacts your CX outcomes and any other revenue or performance related outcomes that you want to track as an organization. So this is done through a few set of features. All of these features aim to address the challenges that Ankita had mentioned initially, but they also work together to provide an AI-powered workflow. With that being said, I'm going to jump into the platform itself. So this is our quality AI solution that is part of our AI for service offering. So I'm going to walk you through the outcome or the output of the solution first and walk you through the workflow of the product itself before I touch upon the ease of configuration that the product offers. So the first feature that I want to focus on is something that the persona of a QA would be spending a lot of time on day in and day out. And that is the conversation mining feature. So it facilitates being able to visualize or see all the interactions that your agents are handling within your contact center. You can see which agent is handling it, the specific topic and intent being discussed within that conversation, the auto QA score, which we call the core evaluation score, and an intelligent sentiment score that the system generates using LLMs, a sentiment trend which captures how the trajectory of that particular call was with respect to the customer sentiment from the opening till the end, the specific emotions that the customer had expressed within that particular call. And there's also a moment's breakdown, which gives you an idea of the adherences, omissions, and violations that have taken place or that the agent has done within that particular call with respect to the specific auto QA criteria that you have set up. This is an example that I set up for this specific demonstration. But beyond being just an evaluation or an interaction listing page, the power of this particular feature comes in through the filters. As Ankita had mentioned, most contact centers rely on random sampling as a method to identify interactions for evaluation today. But that remains a suboptimal process because random sampling does not give you any strategic insight into being able to identify critical interactions or interactions with a lot of potential to improve. So even the manual review efforts that you put in doesn't necessarily facilitate your agent performance improvements or any KPI improvement that you're looking for. So that's exactly where the filters come in. So we have a vast array of filters across three categories, starting from efficiency, which is primarily metadata-based filters like channels, conversation IDs, queues, or agents within the particular contact center. There also the customer experience set of filters where you can filter down based on sentiment score ranges, intents or topics being discussed within conversations. And there is also a churn monitor based filter. So each and every conversation that is evaluated by the solution also gets classified based on the extent of risk of churn or an intent to escalate that the customer has expressed within that call. So these filters allow you to directly navigate to critical interactions with poor customer experience outcomes, or flip the coin and you're looking for best response examples where your customer experience outcomes were optimal. You can do that too. We also have a sentiment trend filter where you can filter based on the sentiment trajectory of the customer from the opening of the conversation to the end. So you can filter down based on conversations where the opening was positive and the ending was neutral or negative, which signifies that the customer experience was suboptimal for that particular conversation, or the other way around to look for conversations where agents have actually successfully uh, improved customer experience or addressed a particular issue. You can also filter down based on emotions of the customer during the particular conversation. And there is the metric as well. So metrics are the order QA or evaluation criteria that you can configure for your specific use case. These are the metrics that I've configured for this use case. And you can filter down based on interactions where uh, metrics have either adhered, passed, or failed, which again gives you flexibility to identify interactions where you're looking for a specific behavior from your agent based on your predefined evaluation criteria. We also have empathy score as a filter criteria. So this is an LLM generated score, which gives you an idea of the extent of empathy that your agent has shown to your customer in cases specifically where customers have expressed frustration or any negative emotion. We also have Crutchword score, which is another AI generated score, which gives you an idea of the amount of stellar words or blanks that an agent has used within a conversation, signifying that they're not very confident about what they're saying in customer conversations. And the last is the audit QA score range filters as well. And you can also filter down based on calls where any specific critical evaluation criteria has failed. So using these filters, you can filter down to any interactions that you want to look at. And once you click into any specific interaction, you will be navigated to the assisted manual audit functionality. So this specific feature actually breaks down the entire conversation first through the AI overview, which gives you an idea of a vast array of conversation analytics, starting with the topics itself, the topics and intents being discussed within this particular conversation. You also have a sentiment trend here, which actually breaks down the conversations into the three key sections, which is opening, call development, and call closing, and then maps the customer sentiment across these three phases, which gives the actual sentiment trend on how the call opened and how the call closed with respect to the customer sentiment. And this allows us to generate a resolution-aware sentiment score. So the sentiment score that gets calculated is not a blind average of message level sentiment scores. Rather, we calculate the message level sentiment, and then we plot the sentiment trajectory across the three phases. And we have an intelligent algorithm which actually gives a higher degree of influence to the closing of the call rather than a blind average, which tends to have a more resolution focused sentiment score rather than a blind average. We also capture the other metrics for the particular call, like the empathy score, signifying the agent empathy, the sentiment score, as well as the Crutchword score. And we map a sentiment ratio as well, which gives you an idea of what percentage of the call has the customer expressed what kind of sentiment. So in this particular call, is been neutral for about 80% of the time, and negative for 12% of the time, and positive for 8%. And we also have an idea of what are the top three emotions for both the agent and the customer. Alongside that, you can see the call recording along with the transcript as well. And you can also see timeline views of specific adherences to the evaluation criteria. And there is an agent emotion timeline, which gives you an idea of what emotions has your agent expressed and at what point of the conversation. And the same goes for the customer as well. There is a timeline for the customer emotions as well. And clicking into any of these emoticons will actually navigate you to the specific point in time or of that conversation where that customer has expressed particular emotion. And you can do that for the agent emotion timeline as well. So you can correlate customer emotion moments and how the agent is actually reacting to these emotion moments. That gives you an idea of the conversation level analytics that we derive from a conversation. But we also have the specific order QA evaluation criteria from this specific view as well. So the questions that you see on the right are the evaluation criteria that I've set up for this specific use case. So based on your organizational needs, these questions will differ based on your configurations. So for each question, you have the outcome detected by the LLM. And we also have a justification for why the LLM has decided a specific outcome for that specific evaluation criteria. So for this specific use case of did the agent verify the customer, the LLM has detected the outcome to be adhered. And that is because it has identified that the agent has requested the name and card details at this specific timestamp. So if you click into it, you can even navigate to that specific point in the conversation. So you have complete observability into why an LLM is deciding a specific outcome, and it is not just a black box decisioning that is happening. And if the LLM is deciding that something has not adhered, it gives a very succinct justification for that as well. So from here, I can see all of these LLM generated insights. And if I, as a QA, decide that this is a specific interaction that I should be evaluating, I can assign this to myself. And now I have the flexibility to add manual reviews for each of these conversations or each of these questions rather. And I can also create comments, which allows me to give contextual feedback to the agent. So I can create comments like, so I can save these comments and the agent will be able to view all of these comments once I submit the specific audit from their own dashboards. And if I think that I need to actually focus more on this conversation with respect to creating a coaching assignment, I can add these to any specific bookmarks as well for later reference. And these bookmarks are custom created, so you can create whatever list of bookmarks that are more suitable for your specific use case. So that gives you an idea of the conversation level insights that we derive on the auto QA. But any organization would need to have a view wherein they can see all of their evaluation criteria and the adherence to these at a specific point in time. And that's exactly where the adherence heat map functionality comes in. So for any given evaluation criteria or form that I've created, I can see all of the metrics and the adherence to each metric on a specific date. These colorful tiles represent just that, the extent of adherence, with green being high adherence and red being low adherence. So I can see what is the adherence percentage across date ranges. And if I see any specific metric at a date that requires further investigation, I can actually interact with the heat map and click into it. And I can see an agent level adherence to each of these criteria. And I can sort by this to actually identify which agents are more often violating any specific metric. And you can even drill down further to see if this is a point in time failure for a specific agent or if it's a recurring trend for it. So if you look in, you can filter. So you can see if this is a point in time failure or a recurring failure. And if you click into any one of these again, you can actually directly go to the conversations where the specific agent has failed to adhere to any of the criteria that you've created. And then you can focus your manual review again, specific to these conversations. We also have an agent leaderboard, which gives you agent level insights to identify which agents are actually performing well and which agents require an additional input to actually scale their performance. And you can do that by sorting and filtering across agents. And each of these agents have a detailed list of KPIs, which gives you an idea of their agent performance at any given point of time. And if you click into any one of these specific agents, you're actually navigated to a dedicated dashboard for each of these agents. So this is my specific dashboard as an agent, and I can see all this specific agents KPIs starting with the total number of interactions they've handled, the auto QA score, the number of coaching assignments that they've been given over the past few days, the number of failures, and so on. But the system also generates intelligent coaching insights, which gives you an idea of which performance areas are actually the strong performing areas for the specific agents and what are the opportunity areas for them. So these are the performance areas that I've configured. This again is configurable based on your use cases. So from here, I can immediately identify that empathy is a problem area for this specific agent. So from here, I can directly navigate to the evaluations tab where I can see all the conversations that this specific agent has handled. And I can use the bookmarks again to actually drill down to the interactions where coaching is required. And I can create a targeted coaching assignment for this specific agent. And I can give this a specific name. And I can tag the specific coaching area against the specific quantifiable performance area that you've seen from the coaching insights. So I know that empathy was a problem area. So I'm going to tag this specific assignment against empathy as a performance area. You can also provide best response examples using bookmarks that other agents have done well under similar contexts. So this gives the agents contextual reference as to how they can improve by looking at other conversations under similar contexts where outcomes were more positive than their own. So I can select and add these interactions. And once I do that, I can manually enter the feedback, the action plan, and set up a follow-up date for this specific coaching assignment. And once I create this, the coaching assignment will be delivered to the specific agent's dashboard so they can review their coaching assignment along with the interactions. And you, as a QA, can track all of the different coaching assignments that you've created across agents using the coaching monitor tool. So these are the coaching assignments that I've created across agents for the past few days. I can see when it was assigned, when it was scheduled to be followed up, and what were the performance areas assigned, and their current performance scores as well. And I can filter it on based on assignment dates, follow-up dates, performance areas assigned, and so on. And from here, you can actually click into each of these and actually see how the agent is progressed on the performance areas that was assigned to them from the date of assignment and the current date, which gives you a very quantifiable metric to measure coaching efficiency or progress before you go into a follow-up session. The last thing I would like to focus on is the conversation intelligence dashboard. So this specific dashboard was designed for supervisors as a persona. So you can monitor your agent efficacy, which is your agent performance, by looking at the empathy score, the Crutchword score. The agent performance monitor actually allows you to correlate how your agent input performance metrics like Crutchword score and empathy score and see how that correlates with customer experience or customer sentiment as your outcome. The strict adherence tool actually checks adherence to the default 6 steps of any specific call across use cases, which is greeting, branding, privacy policy, old etiquette, and so on. And the next more interesting section is customer experience. So here you can see what percentage of calls have customers express the risk of churn. What is the average customer sentiment score? You can also see a breakup of customer churn escalation and calls with no churn escalation through the churn monitor tool. So I know that 100 calls for this specific date range have escalations, and around 49 calls, customers have actually expressed a risk of churn. The insights mining tool gives you the topic modeling functionality of the tool. So here you can see all of these bubbles correlate to specific topics or intents being discussed in conversation. The size correlates to the volume, and the color correlates to the sentiment. So here I can see fraud investigation or fraudulent transactions tend to be a negative sentiment as expected. And I can see what number of calls and what is the breakup of sentiment for this specific topic. And if I click into it, I can actually see what are the specific keywords that are being used repeatedly in conversations with this specific topic. And you can keep a continuous view on these specific topics and intents. And if you see any specific topic bubble burgeoning, you can again go back to your conversation mining and filter based on that specific topic or intent. So there is an end-to-end loop that you can use within the product itself. So that covers the end-to-end workflow of the product. I'm going to spend a little bit of time right now to walk you through the configuration to give you an idea of how easy it actually is. So you might have seen the questions on the right side of the evaluations tab or the audit tab. So that comes from the evaluation metric configurations. So these are the individual evaluation criteria that you might use as a specific organization. These are the ones I've set up here. I'm going to walk you through a simple example of customer verification as an evaluation criteria. So you can give it a name, a question as to give reference to the supervisor as to what is being evaluated. So the tool offers two different answer detection methods. The first being GenAI-based adherence, where you can give a prompt to tell the LLM what to look for. We also provide deterministic ML models or embedding models that allow you to train a certain set of utterances to check whether the agent is adhered to that specific evaluation criteria or not. And this gives you tighter control on being able to configure the extent of similarity expected. So if you have any process critical metrics like verbatim disclosures or policies, you can use deterministic adherence and set similarity percentage to 100%. But right now, I'm going to focus on the GenAI-based adherence, which allows you to configure a prompt for an LLM to determine whether adherence is happened or not. So you can just enter in text what is the specific behavior to look for. Give an example of an adhered scenario, and the LLM will contextually look for these in specific conversations and give you justifications when a specific outcome is detected or not.
All right. Thanks a lot, Prakash, for the detailed walkthrough. That was quite valuable information for us and our audience. And I believe Quality AI is such a transformational product, which would definitely be revolutionizing the quality management operations in today's customer experience landscape. And with this, we conclude the session Quality AI. Thank you for joining us today.